Hello guys, welcome to today's session. I will be continuing our HTML learning. Today we'll be looking at comments, headings and paragraphs. So let's dive into it. So comments, what are comments in HTML? Comments are basically a descriptive text that we put in our HTML code in order to explain a certain portion of our code. Maybe for beginners or for other developers, you want them to see, okay, this is what I'm doing here. Just a simple descriptive text. You can write whatever you want to write inside, just to explain what that portion of code is doing. So how do we put comments in our HTML? We first of all put the left angle bracket, exclamation point, and then two hyphens, and then we write what we want to describe this portion as. Describe it as the headings. And then after that we now put two hyphens again, and then the right angle bracket. So now we can see that it has been grayed out. It's color gray. That shows that the comment is valid, and when the browser is running through this code, it will not print out this because it's not part of the HTML. It's not part of what you want to print out. It's just a descriptive text. So let's save it and see. Now we reload. We don't see headings here because it has passed through it. It doesn't impute it in the web page. So, and it's important that you must close your heading tag. Your heading, if you don't close it, every other thing will be commented out. You can see your body is gray, HTML is also gray, so you must close it. So you know it is just for headings. And then, so that's basically all there is to know about comments. We can put whatever I wanted to. We want to put inside here, this is headings. Let's leave it at headings. So let's get into the header. The header. Now in HTML we have the header tag, and we represent the header tag with H1. That's heading 1. So this is a header tag. Let's put my header. So when we save that, we reload and we can see my header. Now we have 6 different sizes of headers. We have H1, H2, H3 to H6, and all of them have their different sizes by default. So let's go to another one. Let's go to header 2. Let's put my header. So let me just copy this, and then so we can just quickly put the rest. Let's go to header 3, my header 4, my header 5, my header, and header 6, my header. That's the last header. So we save and then we reload. Now you can see the various sizes of the headers. Header 1 is the biggest, from biggest, and header 6 is the smallest. But that is how it is by default on HTML. When we start doing CSS, we can easily format it, edit it any way we like. We can make header 6 the biggest. We can make all of them to be the same size. We can edit it and make it as big as we like, even bigger than this with CSS. But with HTML, this is the format, the default sizes for the header tags. So that is basically all there is about headers. So now let's move to paragraphs. So let's put a comment here, and you can put there's a shortcut for comments here, and on your keyboard you just put Ctrl / and you see comments. So we put paragraphs. So let's do paragraphs. So how do we write paragraphs in HTML? We use the P tags. We start with the P and just press enter. They've already given us P. Just press enter and it closes it for us. So now we put text. This is James. He is taking the class on HTML. Now we save it and we reload We can see the paragraph here. So instead of having to write and write and write, okay, imagine we are building a site now. We just want to build a site. We don't yet have a content for the site, but we need some text in order to build it. Maybe we want to just do a blog before we have any article to put. We just want to put some text inside. Now there is something that they provide for us called a lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum is called a dummy text. It's just text for developers to use to, when they are developing something without their content being there yet. So, and how do we use the lorem ipsum? We generate it with the lorem, L-O-R-E-M, lorem, and we press tab, and we see a lorem ipsum. They are known as dummy text. So when we save, we can see lorem ipsum. We just use it to, develop our site, and we have text easily. So that's basically all there is. So that is it for the paragraph tag. And it's important to know that, as you can see in this paragraph tag here, it went to the next line. It did not continue from here. Why is that? That is because the paragraph is a block element, and we'll get to that in the next class. And the browser, it has a default CSS styling that gives it a space between header and the paragraph tag. It always puts a default space. And how can we see this now? There's something called developer tools, Chrome developer tools. We use that to see all the formatting and everything about the website. And if you want to go to the Chrome developer tools, you use your F12 function, F12, and we'll see developer tools. So now we can see, let's just expand this a little bit. Why is it not expanding? Okay, let's expand this a little bit. Now we can see all our tags. This is very, very important. It's very, very good for your development. We can see everything about each tag we are writing in developer tools. Now let's see for the headings. For the headings, you see this thing called user agent style sheet. That's the default, Chrome's default styling for anything you are doing on websites. But we can change everything with our CSS when we get there. So this is telling us that display is block. Display block means it will always start on a new line. We can see that every header started on a new line because it is on display block. There are other displays. We have display inline, we have inline block, but we'll get to that in the next class. For this header 1, it is on display block. That's why you see the next one goes to the next line. And then the font size is 2em. Em is a unit of measurement in CSS. When we're doing CSS, you see more em. So you can see the size of this header is 2em. It's different from this one. Header 2 is 1.5 em. Header 3 is 1.17 em. Header 4, I did not. How come? I can't see header 4's em. Okay, let's move to header 5, 0.83. Header 6, 0.67. Why doesn't header 4 show its own em? I'll check that later. Okay, so and now we can see all the default styling by Chrome. We can see that, okay, we have this is the size of the header for header 4. Now there is no padding. You know more about padding when we're doing CSS. There is no border, but there's a margin. The margin is 21. I think it should be pixels, 21 pixels. So the margin between and the margin around, on top and the bottom of header is 21, up and down. 21. You can see the brown color showing that this is 21 and this is 21. So it is the default styling by the browser. You can remove all of that when you're doing CSS. You can make everything together as you wish. So this is for the paragraph. Paragraph has a margin block start of 1 em. So, and then the magic block end of 1 em again. So magic block start is basically saying the top here, and margin block end is saying the bottom. So look at it here. 16 pixels is equal to 1 em actually. So this is 16 pixels here. So that's the same as 1 em. And there is no margin at the sides. There's no margin at the sides. That's why it is 0. Margin inside is 0. It's dash dash. It's only 16 top and bottom. So you can change all that when we're doing CSS. And it's the Chrome developer tools are very handy when you are. In fact, I can't imagine building website without the Chrome developer tools. It's so important. So that's it for the developer tools. You can exit that. And then we have other basics, other syntax we can use when we are doing our paragraph. Let's just put another paragraph here and put lorem tab. So in case we just want this to go down furthermore, just to go down a bit more, we can easily use something called the line break. That's a B. It's known as BR. The tag for it is BR, line break. It's just to go to the next line basically, and it's a self-closing tag like we saw in a former class. It's self-closing. You can either put this. It's still the same. This is remnant of XHTML, but it's simpler to just put it like this. In HTML5 you can do it like this. It's a self-closing tag. So once we reload, it goes down again. We can put more if we want. It goes down again. But all this is just HTML. When we're doing CSS, we can put them as much down as we like. We may not necessarily need to put BR, although BR is good for some things. Sometimes when you are developing, just want to put just one. You don't want to start using margin, padding. Just want to put just a little line down. You can just use BR. You also have something called horizontal row. Now you just want to put a little ruler. It's called HR. It's also a self-closing tag. You can see there's a line. It puts a neat horizontal row between each of them. I think it is better without the BR. So let's just do it like that. Yeah, so that's it. The horizontal row clean.